we have something called positioning of super elevation development. So positioning of super elevation development means on curve how much we put the super elevation length, on straight how much we put the super elevation development length. So here we have three definitions how to distribute super elevation development length among each entity. So within this lesson we learned that we have single circular curves, reverse curves and unidirectional curves. I have to mention that unidirectional curves we have to avoid as much as possible, that they are not desirable for alignment designers. If any case, if you cannot avoid unidirectional curve, you can use them, otherwise you have to avoid them as far as you could. So first we will look at how to distribute super elevation development length or position super elevation development length along a single circular curve. So in a single circular curve, it says 2/3 of the length of super elevation development length is to be provided prior to the tangent point, and 1/3 of the super elevation development length should be positioned within the curve. So these are RDA guidelines. This is given in the RDA guidelines. So in other guidelines such as AASHTO or STROD, they have some other definitions, but this one is related to RDA design guidelines. So it says the development length should be 2/3 should be on the tangent and 1/3 should be on the curve. So if your super elevation development length is 30, if it is a simple curve or a single circular curve, your 20 meter length would be on the tangent side and the 10 meter would be on the curve side. So in this example, if we assume this is a simple curve. So if I recall what is a simple curve means a curve where you have two sides connected to a larger straight section. That means before the curve you have a larger straight, and after the curve also you have a larger straight section or a lengthy straight section. Sometimes instead of a straight section you may have a very large radius curve such as 2000, 1000 or something like that. It depends on the design speed. So whatever the curve radius which is greater than the adverse cross pole could be a larger radius curve. So we will be learning this in later super elevation lecture notes within Civil 3D software section. So in this example, now we have a simple curve. So assume this is a straight and you have a curve here. So in the straight section you have normal cross pole minus 2.5 both sides. This blue color represents the left side, red color represents the right side. So when the super elevation occurs at the when the super elevation or inclination of the road becomes 2.5 at the curve, your left side would be rotated up to plus 2.5 super elevation, but your right side would be remain as minus 2.5. So in this example you can see your left side is always minus 2.5, but your right side is, with the length, it will be rotated up to plus 2.5 from minus 2.5. So in this development sometimes you will find a situation where you have a flat crown or a level section in this left side, and it is gradually increasing up to plus 2.5. So that is how the super elevation is developed along this simple curve. So the positioning of super elevation would be from this length, from this super elevation development length, 2/3 of this length would be on the tangent section and 1/3 would be on the straight section. That is the definition for simple curve. So we will look at another example related to simple curve. This time you have normal cross pole, and once you get the superelevation, your value would be +5. So that is kind of a sharper curve. So your left side would be -2.5 and it would be rotated up to +5, and your right side it is going from -2.5 to -5. So if you think about the change here, left side would be changing from -2.5 to +5. So when you calculating the superelevation development length, always you have to select the largest change. So in this case, you can see left side is from -2.5 to +5 and right side is -2.5 to -5. This change is only -2.5, but this change is 7.5. So when you calculate the superelevation development length, you have to take this E plus N term as 7.5 according to the superelevation development equations. So now you can look at how this is developed. So in the normal cross pole you have -2.5 and -2.5. There will be then with some distance this left side increases, but the right side remain as same, and at one instance both the side become -2.5 and +2.5. That means same superelevation but different values, -2.5 and +2.5. In this location we call this reverse crown. Both superelevations are equal but the sign is different. So after this point, both sides of the rod will be rotated up to the required superelevation. From this point, this one would be rotated to -5, this one would be rotated to +5. That is how we get it. So that is how the superelevation is developed inside the curves. In the same manner as I told you earlier, the superelevation development length would be placed 2/3 along the straight and 1/3 along the curve. So this is another way of representing the superelevation development. So this is your curve. This is a simple curve where E equals 2.5. Your superelevation is 2.5 as in example 1. So this is a curve. This is a straight. This is a curve. This PC means tangent to curve point. This is tangent. This is curve. This is tangent to curve point. CT means curve to tangent point. This is the curve. This is the tangent. So inside the curve, you have superelevated section, and from this superelevation development, 1/3, this L is the superelevation development length. So L/2 will be inside the curve. 2L/3 will be outside the curve or in the straight section. If you think about the superelevation at each section, at the start you have the normal crown. In this position you have the full superelevation. So if you consider the other side of the road, other side of the curve, it has the same thing. You have full superelevation up to this point. So in this red color means the right side. Right side is going upward. So that is why we call it is going upward. This is the E equals 0 line. Superelevation equals 0 line. So this is superelevation equals +2.5. This is superelevation equals -2.5. So after this point, within this curve, +2.5 will be continued. So at the end of this curve, you will have the same superelevation development as this one if this is a simple curve. So we will position that superelevation development length L/L/3 and 2L/3 as in the start of the curve. So you will be having same superelevation development and same pavement rotation within that single circular curve. So that is how to position super elevation development length within a single circular curve. So in this, where you have the super elevation development length greater than 2.5, in this case we call this point the reverse crown location. This is the location where you have minus 2.5 and plus 2.5. So after this point, both sides would be rotated. So from minus 2.5 to plus 2.5, your right side would be coming like this, but until this plus 2.5 point, left side would be always minus 2.5. After that, both these pavement rotates, both sides rotates and go to the required super elevation. If you remember the last example, this value should be plus 5 and minus 5 according to that example. So your development length should be divided according to the single circular curve. So this is how to develop super elevation development length in a reverse curve. So you have one curve coming like this, and you have tangent to curve point, then you have a small straight, then you have a curve to tangent point, and you have another curve, but that curve is in the other direction. So since this is a curve, this has a super elevation, so this is going on the left side. This is an anti-clockwise direction curve, you call it anti-clockwise direction. So your right side would be at a plus super elevation, left side would be at a minus super elevation. Then on the other curve, it is a clockwise curve, your left side is at a plus super elevation, and right side would be at a minus super elevation. So in that case, you have to first find the super elevation 0 point. Super elevation 0 point, we call it level crown. This point is called LC. First you need to find that one. That is LC equals TC plus TC means tangent to curve point plus LE1 over E1 plus E2. This L is same as this L. This L is same as this short tangent length. So this short tangent length L. E1 means the super elevation of this curve. E2 means the super elevation of this curve. So we will proportionately distribute the super elevation throughout this length. That is how to get this LC point. So after getting LC point, you will be finding the L1 and L2, but you need the L1 without finding this point. You can calculate L1 and L2. L1 means the super elevation development length of this curve, and L2 is super elevation development length of this curve. This LC point would be needed to distribute the super elevation. So we will look at this LC point within the Civil 3D section, how to distribute that one. So now in this session we will find how to get this L1 length. L1 length is this one. After find this level crown, you have to get the next point, or find the point where super elevation change in the curve 1. From this point it is going downward up to the super elevation of other side, because the right side this right side super elevation becomes minus on the other curve. So from this point it will change and come to this point. So this length would be L1. L1 equals W means the lane width plus hard shoulder width, and E1 would be the super elevation of this curve, and the GR relative gradient. And this is only for relative gradient, but you have to calculate for rate of pavement rotation as well and get the maximum value. So this L2 is for the other curve. So you can find the super elevation development length, this length for this curve also for this curve also with L2, same equation, but your super elevation value should be used for the second curve. So that is how to position super elevation in a reverse curve. Mainly what we do is position reverse super elevation in between the short tangent. So if this short tangent is 0, that means after this curve is right after this curve you will start the other curve. No tangent there. So this TC and CT point, this length L becomes 0. So this, in that case, LC equal to TCO CT. Since this L is 0, LC will be equal to TCO CT. So that is how to find the super elevation 0 point for reverse curves. Then I have this unidirectional curves. So if I move back to the presentation, here unidirection for reverse curves, all or most super elevation development length must be within circular arc for well-placed tangent straight as single curves. So this is the same thing I explained a little bit earlier. So in this, what we have done was this one. So if you have a larger tangent in between two curves, they will be treated as single circular curves, like this case. So unidirectional curves, you have to place the super elevation in such a way that for closely spaced tangent points, position the super elevation change in evenly above the tangent points, or for well spaced tangent points, you have to use the flatter super elevation until the curve of higher super elevation. So I will be teaching this super elevation development in a much better way within the civil 3D class. So we will be looking in more detail inside that lecture. So after that, we will look at an example, simple example, how to calculate the super elevation development length. So in this example, we have consider a 2-lane road in a rural flat terrain with following parameters: lane width equals 3.5 meters, hard shoulder is 0.5 meter, design speed is 60 kilometers per hour. According to the given horizontal alignment, develop the super elevation diagram for this road using RDA geometric design guidelines, considering the relative gradient method. So we are not going to develop the super elevation diagram, but in this example we will be calculating the super elevation development length. So this is a typical alignment. So what this is saying is, this is a straight section. So if this straight section starts from 0 and it comes until 206.27, that is the length of this part, and after that point we have a curve, and that curve will be end at 263.91. Then again you have a long straight section, it will go up to 420.18. So after that you have a curve of radius 725, then that is going up to 520.18. So likewise you have this alignment. So we are asking to develop the super elevation development length. So it is saying that this is a rural flat terrain. So since it is a rural flat terrain, you have to memorize that. You can let us say we are going to use, since it is a flat terrain, you can't go super elevation more than 6%. That is what the RDA guideline says. So since this is a rural area, also we have larger radius curves, 725, 700 and 300. You need to look at the super elevation and adverse cross fault because of these larger radius curves with rural flat terrain. So first we will look at the radius things here. You have 140, 725, 700, 300. So this is the recommended minimum radius curves I gave you in the horizontal alignment lecture. So we have our design speed is 60 and we have radius of 140, that is the lowest radius. So it is in between super elevation 4 and 5. So you cannot interpolate and get the super elevation value in this case. You have to get the super elevation value which is the closest one which is the closest one to this radius. It should, if you call this 140, this is less than 145. So you can't have super elevation 4, but it is greater than 135. So whatever the radius greater than 135 and less than 145, you have to use super elevation 5. So 140 radius curve, that means this curve you have to use super elevation 5. Then you have radius 300, 725 and 700. So all these super elevations should be 2.5, because whatever the curve greater than 155 radius will have super elevation of 2.5, but we have to check whether it is, if the radius is beyond adverse cross pole, because I told you at the adverse cross pole radius you don't need to apply super elevation, you can go with the normal cross pole. So this is the adverse cross pole situation. So for the adverse cross pole, this open area, or otherwise we call it the rural area, adverse cross pole radius would be 810. So if in this example you have 725, 300 radius, so it is less than 810. So all of the curves you should have super elevation of 2.5, because it is greater than 155 radius. So these are the super elevations you have. For curve 1 you have E equals 5, curve 2 you have equals to 2.5, curve 3 also you have E equals 2.5, and curve 4 you have E equals 2.5 as well. So if you think about the start section, this section of curve 1, it is acting as a simple curve. That means you have a long, straight and a curve. So long, straight and a curve. This part is acting as a simple curve. So in this section you have minus 2.5 super elevation, that is normal cross pole. In this section you have plus 5 super elevation. So minus 2.5 to plus 5, your delta E, otherwise E plus N, would be 7.5. So if you consider the end side of this curve, it has the same characteristics as the start side. So curve and long, straight. So it has the same characteristics. So curve N, your E plus N is 7.5 as well. So we put the equation, relative gradient method equation, LV equals W into E plus N over GR. So your W is total rotated width, that is arch shoulder width plus plane width, that is 3.5 into 0.5, that is 4 meters. So this is 4 meters and this change is 7.5, and GR for 60 kilometers per hour is 0.63. If you can look at that values for GR in the start of the presentation, you will find this value is 0.63. So when you calculate this, you will get 47.62. So if you can remember, for simple curves, when you are distributing the super elevation development length, we say 2/3 of the length would be at the tangent and 1/3 would be on the curve. So in this case, we are selecting a length which is divisible by 3. So because you have the 2/3 and you have 2/3 and 1/3, so 47.62 we choose it, or we select 48. So 1/3 would be 16 and 2/3 would be 32. So on tangent we will have a length of 32, and on curve we will have a length of 16. So this is for the start of the curve. Your curve end also like a simple curve, so you have the same calculation for the curve end as well, and you will get these same values. So if you go to the start of curve 2, this curve 2 has a long straight section and a curve. So this is acting as a simple curve, so you can do the same calculation as before to get this value. For this part, e plus n equals 5 because this is minus 2.5, this is plus 2.5 superelevation. Minus 2.5 to plus 2.5, that the change is 5. So that is how we get this. So that length we come, you select as 33 to be divisible by 3. So curve 1, curve 2 start act as a simple curve. Then curve to end. When you consider about the curve to end, this is a reverse curve. This curve is turning this side, the other curve is turning other side. This is a reverse curve with a common tangent point. That means that tangent point length is 0. There is no tangent at all. Common tangent point. So that length would be, if you can recall, here that length would be L for this side, L1 W E1 over GR. For this side, L2 equals W E2 over GR. So here W E1 over GR, 4 into E1 means this super elevation 2.5, GR is 0.63. In this case, we are just rounding up to a full value or a 0 decimal place. We are not rounding up to a value which is divisible by 3 because we are not positioning super elevation development 1/3 or 2/3 here, just putting this value. So on the other side, curve 3 start, that means this one, it is also part of that reverse curve. So it is WE2 over GR. So this E and this E is equal, so you have the same length here. So again, you have another reverse curve here. So curve 3 end and curve 4 start. So you can calculate this in your own and see what is happening, what are the values you get. And this curve 3 end would be a reverse curve with a short tangent, and curve 4 start will also be a reverse curve with a short tangent, and curve 4 end, this side would be another simple curve because you have the curve and you have a long straight. So you can by yourself calculate these lengths and see what is coming here. So I will be discussing these things in a later day with a complete exercise. So that is about super elevation development length according to RDA design guidelines. So in the next lecture, we will be looking at another way of calculating super elevation development length, that is according to Osterode guidelines, that is different from the RDA guidelines. We will be looking at that one also to have an idea about how the super elevation development lengths are calculated in other parts of the world.